Hey guys, Papa Wolf here. Welcome to our first COVID-19 Apocalypse survival tip that channel subscribers only. Um, and this comes from a couple different conversations that I've had recently. Um, there are still some folks that I would say don't grasp the totality of how severe this virus is. I see a lot of folks, well, really, since the beginning, folks have been comparing numbers with H1N1, the flu that started in '09. Here's the bottom line on that and those numbers. The COVID-19 numbers, or SARS-2 COVID-19 numbers, are going to eclipse um, the H1N1 numbers in every way. Um, I should have checked on this first, so you can call me out on it if I'm wrong. And it's going to change daily. But last night I glanced at some numbers that were on a show. It was maybe the night before last. Global infected and deaths versus the U.S. So it looked at a glance that the U.S. death percentage was higher than the global percentage. Now, here's what's going to happen. The numbers that are available to us right now, they are based on less than even 1 month worth of adequate testing. We still don't have adequate testing, not in every state, not at every facility. So we truly have no clue as a country how many people are infected or will become infected. So there's a segment of the population, a large segment, and it has nothing to do with generations. It's not the millennials, it's not the Xers, not the boomers. It crosses all generational lines. Uh, some folks are under the impression, and it's a very logical impression, it's just not accurate, that if we just stay home for a couple weeks and we don't go out and we don't go shopping and we rough it and we just stick it out for a couple weeks. I do have to say, and I really don't care how anybody else feels about it because it's the truth. Um, had we had, as a nation, as a country, had we had a more effective initial response to the virus threat, perhaps we would not be facing some of the things that we will be facing. We don't have adequate testing, we don't have adequate treatment, we don't have adequate supplies for sanitation, for protection of workers in high risk areas, um, different things like that. And it's hard for that to not come across political because there's politics involved. And that's a shame. So let's go ahead and that's all we're going to talk about there. That's a coulda, woulda, shoulda, and we didn't. So now we're focused on what are we doing and what should be happening and is happening. Gotta love Dr. Fucci. I don't mean to say his name wrong. That guy is on point. And what's going to happen is going to be shocking because of our lack of ability to currently test effectively everyone that needs to be tested, which is pretty much everyone. Our numbers are going to boom. It's going to appear that they're already growing exponentially in certain areas once there's a case. you're seeing numbers go from 30 to 70 overnight. You're seeing 300 to 600 overnight. You're seeing 1,000 to 2,000 overnight, 3,000 to 6,000, things like this. And this is how this virus is going to go. Because right now, we have only tested a very small sample of the population. That's a fact. Nobody can argue with that. We've only tested a small sample of the population. The folks that have shown symptoms that have been able to get tested. And I believe it was, I want to say it was Sanjay, Dr. Gouda, that said, if you have a symptom this week, and last week you wouldn't have gone to the emergency room for it, don't go this week. Common sense. If you cough once a day, don't go. Don't wear a mask if you're not showing symptoms. There's more problems with mask sanitation and cross-contamination than there are benefits. As testing becomes available, more and more people will become tested. Sheer math and science will say that will dictate that more and more people will test positive for the virus. Here's the tricky part. And this is really for the folks that are thinking, it's a couple weeks and it should be gone. This isn't the flu. That flu wasn't gone in a year. It's quite a high death toll for just a 12-month period of time from April to April, which was shared with me by a dear friend. The problem is this is a virus, and any virus is not from a human origin. And so it doesn't require a human host. People spit on the sidewalk all the time. Why did I bring that up? Because of our shoes. When we're talking about quarantine and really being sanitary, what's on the bottom of your shoes? Where are you storing them? How do you touch them? Where have you been? It's a tricky situation. So for the folks, and this is primarily for the benefit of the folks that don't understand why we're going to have such a devastating economic impact across the country. And that, maybe a couple weeks would fix it all. It can't. It's impossible because of what is not in place right now. By all indications, and watching other states, I'm in Florida. I don't think Florida's far behind as far as a quarantine or a shutdown. I will not be shocked if it's this week or next week. It's time to do something. And it's been time to do something, and it's past time to do something, because when the suggestions were put out there on social distancing and avoiding crowds, a large segment of the population across the board. Hey, Red. Got my buddy Red right next to me here. Now, hopefully those people that a few days ago I saw a video of a bunch of guys my age playing, well, they look to be my age, playing basketball. That's a sweaty, touchy, feely, close quarter game. Unless you're playing horse. And they weren't. So it's not the kids going to the beach. It's all generations not listening. You're getting ready to have to listen. There's not going to be choices. And some people are going to start talking probably militias and this, that, and the other thing, and the government can't tell me what to do. Well, those folks are going to die first. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I don't mean that I wish it upon anyone. I don't. I wish that everybody will remain as safe as possible, and we will avoid as many infected and as many deaths as possible. But when you have folks with a mentality that, well, this is the government just trying to control us, okay, let's run with that. Iran thinks this is totally on us. They think this is our way of getting back at them. Yeah. SMH. Some things just don't make sense. And so let's run with this is the government trying to control us. Okay? And they're trying to control us with a deadly virus. Okay. Then if we don't want to die from this deadly virus, we're going to need to listen to protocols, mandates, quarantines, health advice, and scientists. Listen to the doctors and the scientists. CDC is a great place to get some numbers from. And I just told somebody I wasn't going to talk about this, but the CDC is corrupt. It just is. It's, they have lobbyists, whatnot. If they weren't, I would not have gone over 20 years with Lyme disease untreated. It wouldn't have taken me 5 years to find a doctor that knew a proper way to test for Lyme disease. And that's becoming less and less difficult because of what I went through and what others have been going through. That is a pandemic of its own here in Florida. So if we look at the CDC for numbers, that's great. And at this time, we need to listen to the CDC because now it's a matter of life or death. What they choose to deny, as proper testing for any particular thing, that's, it's already done. This is fresh. This is new. And I don't think, now, Lyme disease is deadly, if you didn't know. The CDC doesn't think so. They don't even think it's chronic. I'm both. So, anyway, this is a time where we will need to listen to the CDC. I like information coming from the WHO a little better. Listen less to politicians. And more to doctors. I mean, and when I say listen less to politicians, I don't mean ignore curfews or quarantines or set hours or anything like that for doing things. Don't ignore those things. First and foremost is all of y'all's safety. All of y'all surviving this threat. And we may all be dealing with this for a while. This might be something that I have a hard time coming up with content to keep these things going. Right now, there's an abundance of information to share. And, just in general, good conservation tips and stuff. I can't recommend that every one of you that don't have a bidet in your house, go on Amazon.com right now, and I don't no affiliation with Amazon, and buy yourself a bolt-on bidet for $30. Spend $50 if you want. Go hog wild. Get one for $100. Get one that has hot and cold. We got one due to the time frame where I was having multiple surgeries over the course of consecutive years, and there was a time where it was just absolutely necessary for me to be able to have some sort of hygiene care on my own. And the result from that was we kept the damn thing. Cut down our toilet paper use by about 75%. Um, and I was going to do this separately, and I'm still going to. So I'm gonna save some of this for another video. But truly, this was to try to hit home with, if you're watching, if it's you, or if you know someone that is of the thinking that this is all a bunch of bullshit, and why can't we just do it for a couple weeks and be done? Because we can't. Because we don't know who's infected. We don't know how many more people are going to be infected. As testing becomes available, that's when I was talking about the numbers are going to grow exponentially again. Because right now they're growing that way, and we're not even able to test everyone. So when that becomes available, the numbers are going to keep growing. Then it's a matter of containment, which is a portion of sanitation and avoidance, or quarantine, however you want to put it. But even in quarantine, you have to keep sanitation in mind. If you do leave your home, did you go somewhere that the general public is, and potentially an infected person may have been? We've talked about it here at the compound. When we go out, maybe we should treat it like we've been exposed to parvo. When that happens for us, and we have, an outfit on, or a t-shirt, and whatever we have on, we take it off outside. We don't expose the pack to the exposure we had. I think it's a good way to look at it. Like any other infectious disease that you may have been exposed to, how would you handle that? How would you treat that? Would you come home, walk in the door, and let your child embrace you with what you have on? If you think you've been somewhere hazardous or potentially unhealthy, then that's something you need to modify. The whole point of this is to try and help explain why this isn't going to be one and done. It's not going to be one and done. It's going to take some time. And I'm acutely aware of every time I touch my head. I'm acutely aware of every time I touch my glasses right here to lift them back up on my face. But you won't see my hand go in my mouth. You did see the back of my finger do like that one time. So I just washed my hands. So anyway, I hope you guys find some of this helpful. And I hope you find some of the other tips fun and helpful. And maybe enough to even subscribe. And we will have more subscriber-only content, and even if we get enough subscribers, we will do live broadcasts via YouTube for the subscribers, so we can do question and answer, or if somebody wants to call me full of shit and tell me why, I'll listen. Maybe I got something wrong, maybe I said something bass-ackwards. It's okay. We're all in this together. We just all need to be on the same page together. And some of us are in different books right now, much less the same page. So Florida's about to catch up with New York as far as preparedness or quarantine, I guess, as well as some other states. And so one of the things that I've shared with a few folks is that being calm is a huge personal asset. The calmer you can remain during these stressful times will make things better. It will make time go by much faster. Not being calm is going to raise your stress level, raise your anxiety, create more panic attacks and more anxiety attacks, which I suffer from both. PTSD, severe depression, and severe anxiety. Now, that's all brought on from a brain virus in 2011 that we now know was the Lyme's first run at my brain. So I don't say those things in a non-empathetic way. I know for me, I've had to recognize what some triggers are. Sometimes they're people, sometimes there's things, sometimes they're activities, and you just have to try to avoid them. But right now, if you can be calm, then you can help your family be calm. You can help your significant other be calm. And sometimes too much news can cause a problem. If you see that happening with someone in your home, politely maybe ask them to take a little break, watch a movie with you or something. Yes, we need news, we need information, but we have an abundance of it. No one needs to be glued to the front of a TV screen all day. Not to news. And on the topic of news, for those that take any particular network, whichever network it is, does not matter. If anyone takes a particular network as whatever they say on whatever show, that's it. That's the word. That's truth. That's gospel. That is a fact. I have to inform you, as Papa Wolf, it is my duty. I am bound as an advocate for truth to share with you, just in case you weren't aware. And there's somebody. Some of you are going to go, no shit. Others of you are going to go, you're full of shit. And there'll be some people in the middle. But not every show on a news network is a news show. They are opinion shows. And you're getting that particular host's opinion of the news or of a topic. That's not helpful. Sometimes it's comfortable because their opinion fits what you believe, even if it's me. I might like watching somebody because most of what they say is more in line with what I believe. But I also do the due diligence that if I'm not sure about something, I do my own research. You can't just throw out a piece of information and cite another media source as the source. Like the whatever journal said today. That's not reporting. That's talking about what somebody else said. So you're sharing third-hand information, and all of a sudden it's no better than half of the information that's going around on Facebook. So just be aware, and I hope a lot of you, I hope most of you. You know, actually, I hope most of you don't remember this. That would be cool. To get a younger following, that would be cool. But I am 53 years old as of this past February. And I still vivid recollections of Walter Cronkite coming on to our black and white TV and giving us the news of the day, perhaps the news of yesterday. But it was the news, and it was presented in an unbiased way. There were not opinion shows. There was the news. And I wish I could remember his sign off. I just lost it, but we don't have that now. And so we just have to be a little more careful. Be a little more careful where your information's coming from. Help your family and loved ones remain calm. for all those right now that can't visit and spend time with, or maybe even talk to relatives that are in assisted living or nursing homes, our hearts go out to you, man. That's a terrible situation, but it's a necessary precaution. But I can't imagine what some of the folks that I know are going through from an emotional standpoint, by not being able to see their parents or loved ones. That's why we got to work together. And yeah, it ain't gonna happen in 2 weeks. But if we work together, and if we use common sense, and if we listen to doctors and scientists about the virus, not politicians and what their take on the virus is. The disclaimer there is, if it's a politician, if it's a mayor or a governor or whomever telling you that this is what's happening in any particular state, then abide by it. Just do it. It doesn't make you a wuss. Doesn't make you a sheep. Doesn't make you a snowflake. Doesn't make you a libtard. Doesn't make you a neocon. Doesn't make you a trumpet. It doesn't make you a what's the Democrat? I don't know. I saw one that was different the other day, but it doesn't make you any of those things. It makes you human, and it makes you want to survive. It means you want to survive. I want to survive. Mama Wolf told me a long time ago that even though the where I'm at with my Lyme disease, if not handled properly, could end up being fatal, that's not an exciting enough way to go out. Lyme is not what's going to take me out. And I have gone to my own personal war with Lyme disease. Anybody that's seen my Pinterest Lyme awareness board will recognize that. But this is different. You know what? I had some other thoughts that just completely have gone. And so we're going to wrap with thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And like I said, the more subscribers we get, then we'll do more subscriber-only content. So if you feel like sharing the channel, that'd be awesome. Because what we're doing right now, and the little short vids that we've already put out for some precautionary tips, conservation tips, that kind of thing, how to keep fresh air in your house, that kind of thing. This is one of my outlets for being quarantined. Now, I'm normally pretty much quarantined. I don't drive, but I'm limited a little bit more. Call an Uber. Won't be doing that. Not going to restaurants, not going to events and things like that I could be driven to. So this is a bit of an outlet for me as well. And if by this being an outlet for me, I can somehow provide an outlet for others, whether it be so you can laugh at me, agree with me, argue with me. I won't argue. I'll debate, but I won't argue. I'm happy. I'm happy to do that. I mean, if everybody needs a little something different than what we get currently via cable, network, whatever, through TV, radio, our tablets, our laptops, whatever. Be kind. That was one of the things that left my brain. Just be kind to others. Don't be a bully in grocery stores. Don't. if there's two of something left, take one and leave one for somebody else. There'll be more tomorrow or the next day. Just be kind. And don't make fun of the people that went and stocked up 2 or 3 weeks ago, because those of us that didn't, we've missed that opportunity. That opportunity has come and gone. So now we find out the best time to go to the store, when the stock comes in, when it's available. You go and you get what you can. And we're going to have to continue to do that. Incomes are going to be impacted, and it's going to be rough. So let's be in the rough together. Let's get in that same book and on the same page. And as citizens of the United States of America, that we unite and we do the right thing to help eradicate SARS-2 COVID-19. It's going to take all of us, because it only took one to infect 70 out of 175 people. That was that conference a couple weeks ago up in the Northeast. So in closing, I hope you're enjoying the COVID-19 Apocalypse survival tips and other unsolicited information. And if you are, hit the like button. If you're not, hit the unlike button. I think if you hit the unlike button, it should be mandatory that you subscribe, though, so you can continue to unlike my stuff. I'm not asking anybody to turn notifications on. We all got enough stuff going on there. But we'll be posting on Facebook. There you have it. Our first subscriber-only content. Thank you for being a part of it. Peace, love, and happiness. Papa Wolf out.